Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning to everybody on the other side of the world, not here in Europe.
Yeah, it seems like we have a special guest with us today. Lukas Hermann, the CEO, a founder, a pilot, and every indie maker B2B crush. Welcome, Lucas.
I've not been told anything about this show. Don't hold me accountable.
You
Well,
did sign the papers saying that
exactly.
it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome, Lucas.
Yeah, welcome. Hey, thanks for having me.
Sorry, what's the problem? Yeah, yeah, I'll ask him. Yeah, yeah. Come. Entschuldigung. Entschuldigung. Yeah, yeah. Lucas, I'm sorry. There's some gentlemen here. They claim. Where are you from? Yes. They're from BZST. Have you heard about that?
From what?
BZST. Yeah. So.
I think if it.
Yeah, I think they handle taxes, but I'm not sure in which country. They just handed me some documents here.
What does it
I'll
say?
ask him. I'll ask him. So, just 1 second here. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So, Lucas, where were you on the morning of 9th of July at 10 a.m. and 23 seconds?
I don't know. I cannot recall.
There's a report here saying that around 10 a.m. you have written, and this is, I quote, "The tax officer came to my business address while I waited, rather stupidly, at my private address. We agreed to reschedule." Do you recall this event?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Follow up. And I quote, "I had to show in detail how a euro leaves my customer's wallet, is taxed, goes through Paddle HQ. The tax is withheld." Is that true?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. "And finally ends up in your bank account." Now, Lucas, just to confirm, how does each euro leave your bank account? And where does it go, Lucas?
Once it leaves my bank account, it goes into my pocket and we spend it.
What do you spend it on? Is it on frivolous stuff?
Yeah, like nonsense, essentially.
Do you pay VAT for said nonsense?
Valid question.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do. I'm pretty thorough with my accounting, because I live in Germany and I have to be.
Do you have receipts to prove that?
I have every single receipt in an online platform, and I make sure that everything is correct.
Both
telling
paper
you.
and digital.
Yes, 5 years backup saved, as
Wait a
per
second,
regulation.
The gentleman here just nudged me and said 7 years. Is that true? Is it 7 years? Yeah, it's 7 years. You're missing 2 years,
Oh
man.
no! Oh no!
You're missing. This is all. Jesus. Lucas, welcome to the show. how's life, man? How's it been going?
Well, you have been recounting my painful experience with the tax office when they called me I would like to check what's going on with you.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's all okay. You're good. You don't have to close down your business. You don't have to do anything like that.
I'm literally good. I sat with him on the kitchen table and in the end I was like, so can I continue? Like, is everything okay? And it's like, you continue until you hear from me, and you probably won't. So
There's still like a shadow of a doubt.
there is there's like this tiny shadow of a doubt that one day he can come back to me and say, you know what, it was all illegal all along. Like, yeah.
Oh, you live in fear.
I live in it's terrible.
But Lucas, welcome to the show. I'm so happy that you're still here. I mean, we are only 3 minutes in and there's a lot of things happening. I was expecting Lucas just to leave and me and Ben staying
Like,
and
what-
counting
what-
the taxes. But Lucas, thank you for coming, and we're super excited to have you here. I don't know if you are aware of this, and I just want to mention this, but you have 100% success rate, and I can explain to you why.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
In
I doubt it,
life.
but yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like you had a bunch of ideas, and then the first idea you decided to build, look at you. You already have tax problems.
So I entirely, I think this is completely dumb luck.
Wait a second, is that it? I mean, I thought we were gonna share like experience and you just say it's dumb luck.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
See you on the next one.
buy
Yeah.
my Gumroad course on dumb luck.
But
All
wait, you
right.
have to share to us, like, how did you knew that this idea is cool? Like, how did you pursue it and decided to build something like this?
I mean, right? People always say, "Oh, I have like 10,000 ideas, and only the 3 last ideas worked, and I tried all of them." And if I say my first idea worked, it's not quite true. So I have done business in the past, right? I've been like freelancing, and I've even started a company together with a friend, like 2 friends, and it did not work out at all. Like the partnership went sour, and the thing never earned any money, and we completely did everything wrong that you can do wrong in a startup. You know, we tried to raise money, and it never came. It's like it was a catastrophe that I have to deal with to this day. Like I'm still kind of tying up the loose ends. So when I say my first idea worked, is I came into it with, I would say, a fair amount of failed business knowledge, right? Of like how do taxes work? How does accounting work? How do you get a business started? Like, what do you not do in order to ship a product? And even though everybody says, like ship early and do this and do that, and then you try to follow it. It's one thing to hear it; it's another thing to follow it and actually do it. So I've done it. I've done probably most of it wrong, and then coming into this place where I was employed because I kind of came out of this experience, and I almost had this kind of burnout / depressive phase, and I said I just need to be in an office with other people and work on a computer, and I want no more business stress. And then I came out of this kind of period, and I said, okay, now I want to do indie hacking, right? Do my own business on the side. And I made this list of ideas, which is very long, like hundreds of ideas. Probably everybody has one of those lists. And I thought, this time I'm not gonna start with 20 unknowns. Let me just start with like 1 or 2 unknowns, which is, I said, I want to know how I can integrate like a self-service pricing, right? Like click here, put in your credit card and purchase, which I've never done before. And all the rest, I said, let me find something that I feel like I can do. So I picked literally the easiest idea from this whole list, and just put it out there, and mainly just for this one unknown. Like I wanted to learn how to integrate a pricing platform into a web app.
So it was a learning experience.
Yeah,
pretty much.
the whole point was learning.
Yeah.
And the fact that somebody purchased it, like I made this really stupid Twitter post. What was it, like 3 years ago? And I said, oh, I just implemented a pro feature with pricing into my app. I was like, who cares about my pro features? And bam, same evening, somebody purchases, and that's what I call dumb luck. And then I just went from there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not enough to get that one purchase. You figured out how to grow it, but this is a product that was kind of outside of your regular niche, right? It's
Completely.
kind of yeah, and do you think that helped you because you came with a fresh perspective and you didn't really know all the complexities around it and you just thought, yeah, I can get this done? Or yeah, how did you go into it?
Honestly, I think it's completely undervalued. I know maybe two people don't believe me, but when you come, like everybody always says, scratch your own itch, do something in a niche that you understand. So honestly, doing something in a niche that you don't understand is so cool because you come in with your development knowledge, right? You're automating. I was working in a startup that was in the metal industry, right? Metal industry is maybe the oldest industry, that you can think of, like laser cutting and bending and turning and all these mechanisms that people have done, here for hundreds of years. And I observed all the other people. We were the software team, but then there was the sales team, and then there was the operations team, and I observed them, and every day I thought, man, I could do your job like 10 times faster, because like how do you spend 3 hours on this Excel sheet, doing like this one task? And I always felt like, I just write one script, and your whole job is like 50%, easier. So I knew that when you go to kind of niches that are not developers, right, you will always find all these inefficiencies. So I went into the video production, like kind of live event niche, which, to be fair, very tech savvy, but also not developers. So there is a fair amount of not existing software or even bad software. And you come in and you solve a simple problem and people love you for it. They are excited. And then you just listen to them like, oh, what do you need? What do you need? And you don't come with all this baggage of, I know how it's always done. I know whatever my 20-year-old machine that has these 3 buttons, I need these 3 buttons. No, I have no idea. I just listen to the people. So, okay, this is what you need. Okay, how can we put this into a UI so it's intuitive, it makes sense, it's easy to use. People love it.
Would you say you're a pretty good developer?
I would say I'm pretty good with user experience design.
Okay. Because I have this, I have this printer here and I can't connect it.
Yeah.
I just can't figure out, man. And I figured like you and time zones, like, just let me turn it on. Can I use your assistance with the printer after the show?
Have you tried turning it off and on again though?
Yeah, it's on now, but it doesn't print. Like it says my cartridge is misaligned. I mean, what is a cartridge even? I don't know. But I thought, like, you build this entire app, you must know how to connect the printer, right? So I'll just give you a call if that's okay. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I have also some wireless problems and internet connections. Does that count? Can I jump as well on the call?
Please.
We do, yeah. Is it fun? Can we share your calendar with the audience? Is that okay? Because okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't. I only do this for friends.
But Lucas, it's very interesting. Like, I know there is a lot of discussion about B2B and then B2C, but when you were building a product, did you actually had in mind, like, this product will be only for B2B, or it somehow happened naturally?
It was a bit of dumb luck, right? Because when I built this, I thought this is never gonna, like, never is this gonna make money. Like, who is gonna pay money for a countdown timer? Nobody, right? So for me, I was always like already thinking of the next idea that could be. And then I was thinking, I wanted to do B2B because I looked at pricing. Don't you do the same? Like, you look at pricing and you think, what price do you give your app? And then you look at a kind of a B2C product, and immediately you're like at Netflix, right? At the $14.99 per month.
Yeah.
And you cannot go much higher except people really want it. Like, some kind of whatever magic lose weight pill or something. You can price higher.
Or a luxury product, right?
Yeah. But not like your online tool that you use to track your habits.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's right. You cannot, go in the 20s with that. You already lost most of the market. So yeah.
And honestly,
Except,
like,
well, yeah.
how about you guys? Like, didn't you make like when you start? Didn't you make the calculation? Oh, I need like 1,000 customers just to get to the money that I want to, and then you kind of become disappointed and say 1,000. Where do I get 1,000 customers?
Yeah. You do either charge 10,000 people $5,
Yeah.
right? Or 1,000 people $10, and then you're like, what about if I charge 100 people $100? Wouldn't that be better? So
Yeah. What about charging 1 million people?
Right. Yeah.
But that's also the problem. I think you said it very well. Like we tend to, in the community, tend to build and sell to developers products. So it's like a one-person thing, and then you went outside of this community and found your own niche. But then my question is like, when you build this type of a product and you are not in, you have never been into this niche, how do you market that? Like, how do you find the best ways to do your marketing?
Oh, it's complete chaos. I mean, you just try like, it's like
complete
I love this. I love this.
It's just
let me know.
It's like you just throw like a bowl of spaghetti against the wall, and the one that sticks is the one,
Complete chaos. Yeah. Noted. Yeah.
What was the first thing when you had a product? What was the first
Dumb
thing
luck.
you did?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, but like let me just counter. Sandra, how do you market how did you know how to market your product?
Oh, I did not have this question here.
Next question, please.
You kind of know the people you're selling.
Hey, wait. Is he allowed to do that? Is he allowed to ask this
I have no idea.
Excuse me. Let me talk to our producer. What's going on? This is totally off script now. Okay. Well, please answer, Sandra.
I guess you kind of know the people you're selling to. But did this experience you previously had in a startup, did you went into building this product knowing that you will have to figure marketing side of it as well? So you're not that classical developer, that tends to build apps, but you had this business mindset as well.
Yeah, I mean, every developer that builds a product and is not aware that they have to now learn marketing is probably, I mean, stupid. It is like it's the thing, right? You go into product development and have a business because you also want to do marketing. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
And like you said, like you know your customer. You have to know who you're selling to. Well, it's the same for me. For me, I had the extra step. I had to first of all understand who I'm actually selling to. Like who are these people that actually buy this, right? And then I understood that. And then come the next step. Where are you? Like, where are these people that I'm selling to? Where do they congregate? Where do they have their communities? It's
Please tell me it was on Reddit.
It was not. Reddit is hard. You do like one post and people kind of forgive you for being a little bit markety. But if you do your second post, then you're very obviously selling something. People don't like it. You have to be very careful, right? You have to ask questions or kind of introduce yourself and so on.
But you definitely then hit the sweet spot with SEO. Is that like something that we would consider at this point as a main channel to the product?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this works basically in every niche, because what happens is it's very technical content, right? My customers are very technical. They understand a lot of hardware and software things. And so you end up writing these articles and blog posts that really explain how do you go from point A to point B, right? How do you connect this device with this cable to this adapter to this device into my app? Disadvantage, you can never outsource it. It's very hard to just hire somebody on Fiverr and say, write articles for me. They don't know. There's no value. So you have to do it yourself. Advantage, nobody else bothered doing the work. So you immediately rank for these for these articles. Yes, the volume is not really high. You know, you look in the keyword search tool, and you put in your keyword, and it says 0 because they don't even measure it because it's so low. But just today, I was actually checking our stats, and I was looking like which blog posts actually earn us money, and like the most technical ones. How do I combine OBS Studio with Stage Timer? Is one of the highest, like earned us like $4,000 this year.
Yeah, that's where the quality content comes into the
Imagine
story.
it if you had one fixing printers.
Imagine,
Just saying.
right? Like this one article is to fix all printers.
Yeah, but that's not all you've done. So you have both quality and quantity, because I remember you did a lot of PSEO, programmatic SEO. For those that don't know, early, is that still going? Is that still
Yeah.
bringing some customers? Yeah. How'd you pull that off?
Now, so let me explain what it actually is. Programmatic SEO means you kind of auto-generate pages. One very good example is what Peter Levels does on how is it called? Nomad List. Right? He has all this information about all these cities, like who goes there, what is good, you know, what works, temperature, weather, beach, whatever, people, anything. So he can create these long tail keywords like best city for surfing in the evening and drinking beer or whatever. And then he can auto generate like a list of the best cities. And that's really cool. And I thought I want to do the same. So I thought, what do people look for? Well, people constantly search for countdowns, like 5-minute countdown, 10-minute countdown. It's like crazy how often this is Googled. Now, it's also crazy how much pages actually offer you content for that, right? There's literally YouTube videos. It's just a countdown of 30 minutes. So I thought, you know what, let's try it. And turns out people click. Like I just generated like a timer that generates a link for each minute. There's like a 1-minute countdown, a 2-minute countdown, and so on and so forth. And first of all, I just put it online, but then I realized I have to limit it somehow. So I limit it like to the first 5,000 minutes. And it ranks and people click, and we get a lot of impressions and clicks from that. But I have to confess, we don't get sales from that.
Okay. So it's just boosting your ego. Is that what you're saying?
It's mostly boosting my ego, yeah.
So when you use it as content to do real marketing on other platforms.
I mean, it was a test, right? We tried it out, and we didn't know if it would help, if it would work or not. But the data says it's not really effective. But I think it just depends on the long tail keywords you'd use.
Sorry, do you track this over a period of time? Is maybe these users that land on a page, will they become a paying customer in 2 months, 3 months because they remember your product?
Yeah, we kind of remember what is the first page a person came onto our website, and then later when they purchase, we can connect the dots.
Yeah, so pretty deep into analytics and in the data side. Do you use PostHawk or what do you use?
Oh, I use Airtable.
Okay,
So
did you, like
I use kind of a normal we have Google Analytics hooked up, but I always feel like everybody just blocks that anyway. So I literally built my own very, very simplified analytics thing where I just remember the first page a person lands, put it into a local storage, eventually when they make an account, upload it to my Airtable, and then later compare the data.
Okay, is that
cool.
the next product or what?
I don't know. It works really well. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised because, we preach about, use this, just pay the money, don't spend time, don't reinvent the wheel, and so on. And then all of a sudden, you come in, you said you were lucky, you didn't know what you're doing, and now you rebuild everything as well, and yet you're highly successful. And I don't get it, man. Like,
so this
explain
sound.
it.
I'm admitting this sounds entirely stupid and crazy to say I'm building my own analytics. Makes no sense. However, counterpoint. I feel like most people don't understand how to read analytics. Okay, so you hook up whatever simple analytics, plausible, whatever you have, and then you look at the data, and you see, okay, so many people hit this page, and so many people hit this page. But what does it tell you? What does the information actually tell you? Like, I find it so hard. Okay, it tells you there's more people now than there were before, or less people now than there were. This is okay. That's a good information. But it doesn't really tell you which content is more successful, because like some page can be clicked a lot, but people really don't care, and another page can be clicked very little, but people care a lot. And it's very hard to get this out of the data. And then you can make like funnels, right, where you say, okay, the person came here, did this, did this, did this, and then I feel like you get in this it gets just very complex, and you have all this tooling. You have to understand, okay, how does my tooling work, and where does this value actually come from, and how many people actually give me this value, or like do they click yes or do they click no on the cookie banner, and do I actually get their analytics? And I don't know, don't you have this? Don't you feel this sometimes when you look at?
I agree with you, because if you go into any analytics tool, you will be overwhelmed if you don't know what you're searching for. And then once you know what you're searching for, there are different multiple steps that you need to take in order to build anything. So I fully agree with you. Anytime like I'm talking with someone who is just setting up PawSog, I always say to them that just having all these events can be super scary if you don't know what you want to get from them.
Yeah. So exactly. So I turned it around. I said, what do I actually want to know?
Yeah.
I want to know two things. The person that purchased, which was the first page they landed on, and did they click on any ad? That's the two things I want to know. So I built very like a custom solution for that.
Do you follow also where they're coming from, or your channels are very like niched?
We asked them. We asked them like when after they purchased, we asked them, hey, where did you hear about us? And then we mostly trusted.
Yeah, I saw that someone got a new onboarding flow.
Yeah.
I kind of love it. I mean, it never even crossed my mind that you could do this. I love that you even tried it, that you had the courage to say, I'm going to build my own thing. How hard can it be? And you went for it, and then it seems to work for you. So maybe it doesn't need to be 100% accurate even, because every time I think about this, I imagine that Google has a lot of indicators and a lot of tracking points to, follow a user outside of your website as well, and fingerprint and all of that stuff. And maybe that stuff doesn't really matter, at least not at our size.
No, we don't care about personalization. We don't care about user, or like all we want to know is how many people clicked on this and did in the end this.
Which content is the most successful one?
Yeah,
it makes total sense. But then I have to also ask you, maybe it's just like my curiosity, how does it feel for you to work with these companies, like B2B companies? Because, as we said, sometimes we think that it's much easier just to do B2C. You have more control, kind of like the feedback and etc. But how does it feel from you? Because you just jumped into B2B, into B2B.
How does it feel like? I think people always find it more scary than it is, because people immediately think of the sales call and of the like security questionnaire and of the certificate question, and do you have this and do you have that, and can we go, and then 6 months later you write a contract that you have to countersign with your lawyer and stuff. Not at all. In fact, I made the opposite experience, that most businesses are very happy to just purchase and don't do any of this stuff. And I think there's a golden price point. So what I found out is that many like large companies they have their departments, and then they have, in my case, the audio-visual department, right? And they tell them everything below $5,000, just do it. Like you have like this, some call it the R&D credit card, right? The other day we were at IKEA in the headquarters. They invited us, and I asked the guy that purchases our tool, and I said, who makes the decision to do this? And he's like, yeah, I have like this R&D budget, and I just use it. And he's like, yeah, one day if we want to roll out your tool to like every single store worldwide, then we have to go through all this, questionnaire and blah 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 blah. But as long as we in the headquarters just use it, no problem.
Yeah.
And this is something very important to know. So if you stay kind of under these, I would say $5,000, per year price point, most companies, they literally just put their credit card and purchase and don't bother. And if they bother you, you just say no often enough, and then they purchase anyway.
Oh, you definitely figured this out. So for your product, you don't actually have these long sales cycles.
No, very rarely. Like we have a few companies that, really said, oh, we want to have 60 seats and we purchase for 3 years, and okay, then it gets really expensive, and then they kind of they want you to fill out this data security stuff. And then we do it because it's a big price point. But we always enter with, we don't do it.
Yeah. But you said a year ago that you are just starting to understand like positioning and pricing and marketing. And now that you've been through all of that, what is the shortcut? Is there a shortcut?
I mean, I feel like this is the shortcut. You price it below 5,000 and then price it high enough so people see the value, right? In a sense, you just look at your tool and you kind of know, okay, this is how much it's worth. And then you find a point between the 5,000 and this point, and you try.
Is it 5,000 in Germany specifically, or do you have,
No, it could be less. I didn't ask specifically what it is, but that's around the, some have 1, some have 10.
Yeah. There was this interesting stat or whatever regarding the people purchasing precisely indie products, and I think there was a strong bias towards the US. Like most people have a lot of purchases from the US. Do you see the same, or
Yeah,
not
same.
really? Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, I find that quite interesting, and I wonder why. Is it because jobs in tech in the US are so well paid, and then there's just a lot of VC money around, or
So,
why?
I mean, if you have a tech product, this is true. So I don't have a tech product, right? I have a event industry and video production product. And I made an observation. So I looked at all who purchased from me. In the US, it's the first big leap, and then like the next ones are kind of the European countries. However, I talked to an investor like last year. We ended up not doing any deal, but he gave me a good hint right after I kind of completely bungled the presentation of my company, and he said, here's how you can calculate your total addressable market. Because I had no idea. How do you calculate the total addressable market if you don't have a competitor who already publishes it in their stock report? So he said, look at all the countries that you have revenue from, and then divide the revenue by the population. And then look at the country where you have kind of the most revenue to population relationship. And then apply the same to all the other countries, right? So I did this, and I checked, and I was expecting, the US, it will be, because we get so much money from it, it will be the one. But there's also a lot of people in the US, 300, almost 400 million. So for us, it's actually not the US, it's actually Norway that has the highest, like most purchases to population density. So then we just, okay, good. We apply kind of the same number, the same ratio from Norway to all the other countries, and suddenly we see, our market size is maybe 2 million per year instead of what I guessed, I don't know, 50,000.
That's fascinating. Yeah. Of course, because you think of US as a country, but Norway is probably 30 times smaller, or it's 30 countries. So it can be a bit misleading to think about it. There's just a lot of people in the US. Yeah, super interesting. Well, Lucas, it's time for a break. So on this show, we kind of try our favorite treat. I hope you have a treat around. And it's a break. Our sponsor also has a break, and that is when your code breaks. It can fix it. It can fix it faster.
Hey, I use Sentry, by the way.
That was my follow-up question. I wanted to ask if you've also made your own Sentry, and I know that's what Peter Levels actually did, but you use Sentry. That's quite cool.
It's really useful.
Yeah. Did you start with it, or did you add it later?
No, I started with it. I've used it before, and I think Sentry does one thing good, which is they manage to present the information in a way that you understand it. Like even like you get all these error messages, right? Bam, 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 all the time. And they somehow tell you, hey, this one is really important. Look at this one, and these ones are not so important.
Yeah.
Forget about them. This is super valuable.
Right. You know what my thing was? I used it in various gigs and freelancing and so on. And I never thought that this is a product for me. I thought, yeah, this is for enterprise type person. And, it's really, and for some reason I added Sentry to a couple of my products this year. And then I thought, wait a second, I had these bugs and I was completely unaware of it. Why didn't I add it sooner? And I kind of realized that I don't know why I had this mentality, but it's pretty much fine. If you have any product that has an API or backend or something, it's pretty useful, because what it did to me was that I was a little bit more relaxed when I push something, because I knew I'm going to get that email, if something breaks. And before, I basically needed the customer to tell me that something broke, because, you just have this much. And that's a lot worse scenario to be in than, get an email. And then maybe the customer writes anyway, but you're already on it. So you could have this smart reply where it's like, yeah, we're on top of it. We know what's going on. We're professionals here. So, yeah.
You show off.
I have my favorite peanuts here. And they're actually, it's a mix of hey, camera. Okay. So it's a mix of cashews.
Wait, is this still the sponsored section?
Possibly. No, this is the break. We're on the break. So this is my favorite snack. I think peanuts are underrated, to be honest, unless you're allergic, and then please do not eat peanuts. They're bad for you. But I really like peanuts. What you have for us, Lucas?
So this. But I have to explain the backstory.
Okay.
Because I have a belly, and I've always struggled with it. It's not easy for me to lose weight. And
what are we talking about here? 10 kilos?
And this year I said, I have a baby. I'm, life is gonna be turned around here. And I learned a little bit about nutrition, and what I understood, and I'm a complete noob, and probably many people tell me I'm wrong, but what I understood is, with exercise, you can only do so much, because most of your calories that you use per day is kind of like just resting calories, and then there's a little bit of exercise on top.
Right.
But what you can really control is your intake. So it's just a math problem, right? It's like 2,000 calories is what you need as a person per day. So if you eat less, right, you lose weight over time.
Yeah.
We need to write this down. Yeah.
Now the problem with eating less is you're hungry, right? I mean that's why we eat a lot, because you're hungry.
Hungry, yeah.
And so the second information I learned is, if you eat more protein, which I always thought is for these people in gym, with their protein farts, but in fact it's actually it satisfies you.
Excuse me.
Have you never been, like, if you go to these gyms and you go to the changing room, have you ever smelled, like, you know what I mean,
Oh boy, I stopped writing this down 5 minutes ago. But peanuts have have a lot of protein.
So
go on. Go on.
it helps you be satisfied. So I combined the two and said, okay, let me just eat less calories than 2000, but eat more protein to feel full.
But that thing once tricked me. I have to be honest, like I bought this thing and never read what's behind, like the label. And then I was eating this chocolate and then I read the label and it was like 500 calories or something. And it was very delicious. I ate a bunch of them. And I was like, wait a minute, am I gaining? Like what's happening right now?
So here's a third part of the puzzle, right?
Okay.
Because I tried to count calories in the past and it's terrible. You have to, measure everything. And I was like, I'm never going to do this. So I don't even need to start. But since AI came out, I thought, you know what? Maybe I can just make pictures of everything and let AI calculate it for me. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? It can be off a little bit here and there. It doesn't matter. But I just need the guesstimation. I just need to know more or less which food is good and which food is bad. So since then, it's really cool. And then I went on Amazon. It's like, lowest calorie, highest protein. It's like 50% protein. All right, purchased.
As one would, you would go on Amazon and get probably a pack of 50 of these or something.
Yeah,
like
I literally got the makeup pack.
Yeah, that's classic. All right. Does it have a flavor or
Yeah, this one has.
just-
So this is funny. This one is vanilla chocolate. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And my stupid developer brain, I read this and I thought, oh, cool, like normal chocolate, like default chocolate, right? Vanilla.
Yeah.
And then I get it and I taste it. Wait, this is actually like real vanilla.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean, like we understand as developers, like just basic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's my problem with these is that they sound too tasty. They sound too good to be true. So I don't know. What are you eating, Sandra? What's
I don't
going
know. I thought it's like a break thing and we are eating at the moment.
We're professionals here. You just started. Yeah, I mean, Lucas can eat. He's our guest. But what are you having there? It seems very chewy. All right, share it with us before we go to the next question.
Course, because we know that Finland is the best country in the world, and all the products.
It's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, and all the products first come to Finland, and then we approved it for you guys. So now we got this new pineapple taste gums. No one in the world has this, actually. I don't know where my camera is. So, yeah.
Is that also for losing weight or? This is not medical advice, by the way. And whatever Lucas said, please don't apply that. You're probably gonna get sick. Please don't do it. Yeah. Okay.
They're so tasty. Very good one.
Yeah. Well, I will not eat any of my peanuts because there is a problem. So they have a pretty good amount of protein. I don't know if you looked at the back of peanuts. There's a pretty substantial, 24 grams of protein. So that's, I don't know. You cannot. Where do you get 24 grams of protein?
But how many calories?
I don't think
has?
It's pretty hard.
that's
It's
the-
pretty hard, actually.
It's pretty hard. It's a lot of protein. But then, there's 50% fat in this one, and that's the combo, right? You cannot get just the protein. You also get this fat, and it's a bit similar with the meat-heavy diets because then you get more protein from meat. I don't think meat has 24 on average, though. It might be quite a bit
Depends.
lower. Depends on what type, yeah. But meat also has fat, but that also depends on type of meat. So it's usually the combo, but you cannot eat too many of these. I think almonds are kind of the best you could get from what I know, but as a healthy snack.
Did you guys
But not
notice
too
that a
much.
lot of people in community actually cares about these things?
Yeah. I mean,
What
that's
do you mean?
it's a
Is it
package. So
even-
when you do indie making, you also need
Yeah.
to take care of your lifestyle because no one else does,
Yeah.
and no one else pays the health insurance. Right, you're on your own. Like you need to look out for yourself.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very
You guys
complicated.
also-
I just make pictures for everything and send to the AI and let the AI give me a 5-star rating for my food. And then I just say like, okay, what do I need to get 5 stars? And then it tells me, add whatever, Greek yogurt and this and okay.
Okay.
Do you
Let's
use
get-
like? Oh, I had one more question because I'm very interested in losing weight.
I mean, okay, it's the morning maker eating section now. So let's let's dive deep into it. That's fine.
I just wanted to ask, do you use like ChatGPT or you have some particular app you're using?
I use Claude. This is how you
Claude,
pronounce it, right? Nobody can pronounce it properly.
Claude, yeah.
It's really good. Chat. I feel like it didn't ignored a little bit what I wanted it to do, especially the 4.0. Don't like it. So Claude really like listens to me, which I like.
Okay. Now we can move on.
Yeah,
From the
let's
food section.
move on. But good break. Thank you. And thanks to Sentry for sponsoring this break.
Yeah, thank you, Sentry. I'm a paying customer.
Hey yo.
I will also take a hat if it's okay.
I'll arrange this for you. Excuse me? Yes. Yeah, it's for Lucas. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
But Lucas, you mentioned you were building and working in a startup before. How is that journey compared to bootstrapping now? And like, just a question also, did you ever consider to raise money for Stage Timer as well? Or do you plan to do that at some point?
I literally talked to investors before.
I've heard you saying that. And
Twice. But here's the thing. I mean, it's a often sung song, I think. In having investment money changes your company significantly, right? And you feel this even if you're just employee, so as I was, because of you get your stock options, but then it's like a gamble, and then you understand, okay, now the CEO, he's just running around the whole time looking for new investment.
yes.
And if he's not looking for new investment, he needs to make sure that the old investors, know that everything is going well, and then they expect that you grow 3x per year, like 300% growth per year. It's kind of like the baseline that they all expect. And it's hard. It's so hard, especially if the economy is not really profitable. And then now you have to. So the startup thinks that the bootstrapper says, let's have profitability and let's grow organically and let's spend what we don't need for our life
Yeah.
on top for ads and whatever. And the funded startup says, in 3 years when we have our next round, we need to be like 9x bigger, actually more than that, like 12x or something bigger than right now. So if we need to be like, let's say 10, if we need to be 10x bigger, let's already have 10x the people, 10x the ad spend, 10x the whatever, everything, right? So you spend the money now as if you're already 10 times as big. And then you are in this red race, and it's like over and over. And as soon as you cannot prove that you grow anymore, your investor says, what? Like, shut down, give us the rest of your money back. Let's do a down round. Let's dilute it. Let's find people and make an unprofitable round. And then in the end, you sit there as founder and you have 5% left of a company, and then you sell it, or 1%. You sell it for a gigantic amount of money. And you sit there with like 2 million in the end, or 4 million. Yeah, you get the cool stories where people get really rich. But most of the stories are the people do not get rich.
Yeah.
And they just spend all this gray hair and burn out and then get nothing.
I don't know, should I cry? Like,
You're making Sandra cry right now. I hope you're
why
happy
are you
with
funded?
yourself, Mister.
You can do it well too, right? You just have to be
No.
aware.
Now you cannot take it back.
Yeah,
Lucas.
now
You said what you had to say. It's too late. You've messed it up, man. It's just
You asked what I experienced in my startup, and it's exactly what I experienced in the startup I was working.
You are very right. Like you didn't say anything wrong. Like I think that amount of pressure is very hard to handle. And I think, the startup stories or startup success stories are more shared than the failure ones. So anytime you have like these ideas of building something, I was first time introduced to independent building or bootstrapping in this community. Before that, everything was like startup, and we are like having ideas, but next to having ideas, you are chasing money to build these ideas. So I totally get you, but you said that you are talking with investors. So
Yeah, because I mean, if like this was inbound, so if people, honestly, if somebody comes to you that has whatever millions of dollars on their bank account and says, "I want to talk to you about your company," I'm not gonna say no. I want to hear you out. You know, what do these people? I don't have people like this in my family or in my friends. I want to hear
Yeah.
them, but I'm also gonna be honest and say, you know, my company right now is probably not for funding.
But you would want an angel investor then, and not, the or is
No,
that
I thought
why
really
you're
hard
still
about
open?
it, and I would only get somebody who can help me like with knowledge, like a smart investor, quote unquote, who does not want us to grow like crazy and have an exit in such and such amount of years. And to someone like this we talked, but they also saw that our market size is probably and our growth potential is probably not there. So yeah,
But
so I
then,
got lucky with my product. I didn't get that lucky.
but then you can all. Did you ever consider into like how to expand the market? Would that be something going outside of the current features you have on the product? Would be that be possible?
Yeah, I thought a lot about it, right? Can you translate? Can you you know, do something else? Can you include other people? Um, Here's what I observe with software. You have a tool, it's cool, people love it, it's easy, and then you say, oh, let's also get this, you know, let's get this other group of people also like our software. So you add features, and then you get the third group of people, and you add features, and then the first group of people says, now it's complicated, I don't like it anymore. And it became enterprise software, and they look for something else. And then I don't know, you're in this rut, and like you're in this kind of Photoshop mode, right? This can do everything, and also people don't really like it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, isn't it better to just build like a second product? Literally what I'm doing.
Right, that's what Rundown Studio, and
Yeah.
that was from a customer request, or how did that come to be?
Actually, it was from a friend. Like I got into communities, like in this space. I got into a Discord community where people talk about live video production, and then made friends with the guy who owns the community, and we had regular chats because he's also a developer and does his own product. And we were like, you know what? People want this. Let's build it. And it happened to be very similar to Stage Timer, which I already built. So kind of the logical jump was very similar. I had a bit of fear, you know, do I build my own competition? On the other hand, you know, if people don't want to use the one, they go to the other one, and we still get the money.
Sure, we've seen this a little bit. I think it's a way to experiment without risking that much.
Yeah.
If you followed Thibaut Maker with type frames, and then he made Revid from it, which is exact same product but different
Yeah.
targeting, different, and probably new features in the meantime. But it turns out that the newer product is actually better. So he was thinking to shut down type frames where it came from. So I think that's very interesting.
The cool thing you can do is you can do the experimental stuff first. You can say, I always thought if I do it this way, it's better. And then you do it and you try it in a new product and you find out either it's better or it's not. That's really cool.
Yeah. But it's quite interesting. Is this a group in Germany, the Discord, or is it just global? Or
Global.
how different? Global. Okay. Yeah. So it's quite. I keep asking about Germany because at some point you left for Asia, right? That was the thing everyone does.
Exactly.
You look for a place where you can stretch your runway, and that seems like a brilliant idea. How did that work for you? Was it a good journey?
I love it. I mean, people do it, and everybody should do it. Do this like indie hacker, a nomad thing. However, there's drawbacks, right? Like everything has drawbacks. This one has trade-offs, and the trade-offs is if you travel the whole time, it really wears you down a little bit, and that's why most of these nomads, they end up staying in one place for 6 months. You know, they say, oh, I like this place and this place, and I'm just gonna go back and forth.
Yeah.
So for me, I also felt
how
like
long
oof,
did you stay? What was the
we
total?
ended up staying 6 months, and then we
6
came back.
months. Yeah.
And but it's also, I'm 35, and we wanted to settle down, and said, you know what, we loved our life settling down. Also, let's do it. And then we decided to have kids.
Well, that's kind of like you know, lifetime value deal you got there.
Ah,
It's a good one. Come on, guys. It's a good one. I had it
The
there.
baby is, yeah, high LTV.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
How
for
do you
no
sure.
feel
churn.
now? Like you know, we all work a lot and there's no hours. Did this slow you down? Like building also a family life next to building a business and
I think as bootstrapper, it's easier because you're flexible and you can help each other easy, right? You don't leave the house in the morning and come back in the evening, and then the the baby's exhausted and the mother's exhausted and you are exhausted and you still have to deal with everything. I think we're handling quite well, but it takes a lot of time. Obviously, it's a you know takes a
yeah,
chunk out of your day, and you have to
yeah, you need to
take
find
that
the
from
right
somewhere else.
balance. Yeah.
Hey, you've adjusted very well because sometimes, I mean, I haven't seen the behind the scenes, of course, but a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the sleep is gone. Like this is very difficult." But you seem to be in a fairly comfortable spot.
Yeah,
So
maybe we got lucky, you know, and he has a good rhythm,
not
and we can
not this again.
handle it. Don't know.
Lera needs to do this in
Can't
edits
believe.
every time Lucas said we got lucky.
You seem to be a very. Have
Something
you? Okay, listen. Pretty crazy idea. Have you ever went to the lottery and kind of bought a lot of stuff?
No, so here's the thing. Here's what I think, right? People say having a successful business is like what 1% chance. The thing is, you can do it over and over, right? So you can just increase your chances by trying again. And I feel we kind of approach having kids almost like a business. We said, okay, you know, it may work out, it may not work out. It's kind of a project, and we have to try. You know, just like marketing. You know, you try this, you try that. This works, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Kid is the same, and you can kind of increase your luck by being smart, reading about it, trying a few things.
Yeah.
I'll have to stop you there
Yeah.
because we're approaching a very serious question. If
Okay,
I were to
I'm gonna be gone for 5 minutes here.
show you, if I were to show you this huge box of Legos, would you be my best friend? Because I really, you know what I need? I need someone to like take this really nice. It's massive, like, nice German truck.
Woo!
Huge German truck.
I love it.
Yeah, and I need someone to kind of look at it and come up with a brand new idea from this set. I want. Is that? Are you familiar with that?
I believe it's incredibly hard to do, but I know that people do it, and I love it.
How much of your day do you spend on Legos?
Right now, I cut it out because of the baby, but I did like, you know, like the no screen time, an hour and 2 hours.
There you go. So that's where the baby drama comes now. So you don't have hobbies anymore.
I'm getting
Let's
a new
spill
one.
the beans. Yeah. Perfect life, Lucas. Now it's coming out. No hobbies. What else? What else?
I'm gonna learn how to fly. I'm really excited.
Right. That's cool. I saw that. So one of our common acquaintances, Dima, he posted this selfie from the airplane, I think, and then you were
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to the airport and asking about it, right? How
No.
did that
I
work?
was like, I want to do the same. How do like? But I know
Oh, yeah.
nobody. And he was like, go to the airport and ask people. They're like, what do you mean go to the airport and ask people? Like, what's that stupid suggestion? But turns out there's a lot of small like airstrips, and you can go there and then just ask. And that's what I did.
Yeah. And you actually flight it in the first lesson, or
No, I literally get there, right? They have this info day. I was like, info day, amazing, right? I want to have info. I go there.
yeah.
Like, come there, like, and I see 4 airplanes like shown off, and I expect 100 people, everything, nothing, right? Just a few people from the club. And I'm going, you know, there's somebody like, hey, what can we help you? It's like, yeah, I'm interested in flying. So they explain to me, you know, how this works, the lessons, how much expensive it is, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, do you have time? Do you want to go up? I was like, absolutely
You
I have
are the
time.
luckiest
That's
person on this.
awesome. Yeah. You can we say it again that you got lucky? Yeah, unbelievable. You go there and you literally fly the plane and you don't crash the plane, which is kind of the key point.
You know, I
here.
wasn't the one, right? I was the second person in it.
Yeah. Right. Well, you got lucky. Yeah. So
Like,
yeah.
are you sure? Are you prepared for it? It's like I'm ready for 10 years already. I'm so ready for this. I want to.
Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. But that's interesting. Where is Lukas Hermann in 10 years? Is he flying a plane or is he running a 1,000 person company with, all sorts of products? Where is this going? Where have you even thought about that?
I would like to, honestly. I would like to. I mean, I have this on my Twitter thing. I have this. If you go to my profile, there's these 3 hills, and then it says like bootstrapped, and then funded, and then moonshot project. I always dreamed of having a bigger company with like a team. And I know this goes beyond the bootstrapper indie hacker mindset, but I'm okay with it. And I always saw my first project more as a passive income generator that allows me to put capital into something that needs a bit more, right? Software is cool because you can literally start with a computer and nothing. But then there's stuff that may need a bit more capital, right? Where you may need a few thousand to get started because you need to do a prototype, like something physical, you need some place. I'm looking at these things. I want to do that.
You strike me as a person that would be a good leader in that sense, a good manager. Like you're a people's person, and you've actually hired, right, for Stage Timer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did that go well, or?
It did. We got. I posted on Twitter, and I thought, what good can come out of Twitter? And then I got whatever 40 people writing me and wanting this job, and then I had to boil it down to 10, and I had interviews, and then nobody told me this. The really hard part of hiring is that you have to you talk to 10 people, and then you have to tell 9 people of them you have to tell no, right? Like in the best case scenario, you still have to say no to 9 people, which is.
What is that one trait that you were looking in when hiring these people, or like when you were hiring?
I have not much experience with hiring, so I thought I'm probably gonna get the wrong person, and I'm probably gonna pay them too much and make everything wrong. So I may as well get over it and just start. And the next time I know better.
Just fail fast, yeah.
Yeah, I fail fast. Fail early. I did. In fact, I hired the wrong person, but it was I could solve it. I had like bad sleep for 2 weeks, and then I could solve it, and then now I have a good person.
Yeah, nice. Well, you know what? I like this. I like the dream. I think this whole thing with flying, having the moonshot project, it's actually inspirational. I think a lot of people also look up to you for this,
Yeah.
but I'm actually bothered by one thing. You used to be quite commonly tweeting pretty much every day, and you had a few viral things, especially the one just sitting on the grass that for some reason the internet loved. But you're not there that much. You're not inspiring people these days, and I think that's a shame. What happened? Why have you stopped posting? Is it just because you have better things to do these days, or?
I feel like the Twitter algorithm has gone crazy a bit. Like between 1 year ago and now, every now and then it completely changes and does different things, and you have to adjust. And I have trouble being the persona, tweeting the tweet. And sometimes I think, who cares about Twitter? I'm just gonna tweet whatever goes into my head. And then at other times I think, how can I, like put a good hook and write a good thread and it's informative and people like it and whatever. You try all of that, and what you think is successful fails, and what you think is the stupidest tweet ever, gets 20,000 clicks. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the same situation with me. Like I could put some time and effort into like writing a tweet, nothing happens, and then there is a question mark at the end of some stupid sentence and it goes viral, and I'm like, what's happening? Can someone explain this to me?
I've tried scheduling, never worked. Like
Yeah.
the best thing that works for me is if I have a stupid idea at a stupid time and tweet it. Somehow that's the recipe, but it's very hard to reproduce.
But Lucas, I have one more question. One thing, or not, like, what is the one thing that you would like to share to other makers out there, where the focus should be when they are building a product? You know, give them some motivation, except that I'm the luckiest person on the world.
Dude, I always feel like all the other people on Twitter, like the Peter Levels and whatever, are better with that than me. So I always go into my German corner and say, you know what I can really do well? Tell people
What is the German corner?
how to start a business in Germany, because apparently nobody knows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At least the people that write me don't.
Yeah. Helpful content. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
But why don't you think, talking about how you're growing your business is not hitting the spot anymore?
I think for me the hard part is my Twitter. Like, Twitter is not kind of my marketing platform, and my product is not. It's very hard to relate to it actually if you're not from this niche. Like for the catchy content doesn't come often, because when the normal content is like, what is this, right?
Yeah.
Countdown time, and people don't really understand what it does and what it is used for.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a Venn diagram problem that I have.
Yeah. Got it. Well, Lucas, thank you very much. I had a blast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in this somewhat unusual show. We didn't have the snack segment in a while, but I think it worked very well.
Thank you for the lovely role playing, then.
Lucas, I'm not gonna watch this recording for sure. Lukas Hermann, he's the inventor of timers and probably time zones. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been wonderful. You're a very funny guy. You're inspirational, and I think a lot of people have much to learn from you. So please keep sharing things, if it's not for your business, but for your soul.
Yeah.
I would miss it if you don't.
Follow me if you're not pissed off by B2B businesses.
That's exactly the stuff that I think that's the stuff we need, right? So someone that's on the other side of this and can tell you what not to do, because we cannot all make the same mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And we are not going to be as lucky as you. We can establish that. That's for sure.
But one thing brilliant that Lucas said was, it's not that difficult. B2B is not that difficult.
No.
How hard can it be?
How hard could it be?
Yeah.
It's not
All
actually.
right,
It's
Sandra,
not.
please take it away. I have some documentation to submit here.
Yes. Thank you, Dan. Lucas, thank you for joining us today, and for everyone listening to us. Have a lovely rest of the week. You can listen to us and watch us on YouTube and Apple Podcast and Spotify. And join more Morning Maker Show community at Discord as well. Have a lovely
2 years. He has to pay for 2 years. Yeah.
And hello, bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.